What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Mental Strop from riversedgecutlery.com. Today we are talking about the brand history of another one of our favorite brands. This time we're talking about the butterfly brand, Benchmade.
Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, good, how are you?
Good, not too bad. What can I do for you today?
I'm just looking for a good American-made knife.
Actually, the one I carry is American made.
Huh, let me see that.
Really good setup.
Whoa, what's with the butterfly? Isn't that a little girly?
No, that's actually, it's got to do with their history. They have a pretty complex and cool history, but it's all related to that.
Huh, how about that? You need to sharpen this thing.
The man behind the company Benchmade, or the company that would eventually become Benchmade, is Les de Assis. And initially what he started to do was produce custom balisong knives out of a second floor facility in a rented building in California. And actually he used secondhand materials from a knife maker that was getting out of the game and utilized them to produce his own custom balisongs. These balisongs ended up being so successful that Les actually ended up making a production version of them known as the Model 68, which became a very, very iconic knife in the years to come. Initially, these production and custom balisong knives were just produced under the company name of Balisong, which makes a lot of sense. However, as the product line continued to expand into other kinds of models such as fixed blades, the name Pacific Cutlery Corporation was kind of brought into effect. Later down the line, following Les's second version of the production Model 68 Balisong, he was trying to decide on a name that conveyed the level of quality that he was looking to get across, something that had a hand fitment, that had a little bit more of a personal touch to it, handmade. Being bench assembled, it kind of came together and the name Benchmade was settled upon, and that's the name that we all know and love to this day. In the early 1990s, Les moved the company to Oregon, which is actually the knife-making capital of the United States by many measures, and moved into a larger facility there. They also started to utilize a lot more modern technology, such as laser cutting, which actually allowed them to cut through much harder steels than they were previously able to with their stamping methodologies. In this new Oregon facility, Benchmade got into producing automatic knives, which is something that they're still well known for to this day. They also started providing those automatic knives to a lot of law enforcement agencies and a lot of military units. Further down the line in 1996, the Benchmade company moved into a massive 144,000 square foot facility, this time in Oregon City, Oregon, and they started to expand their line further by working with designers such as Warren Osborne and Mel Perdue, who ended up producing some of their most iconic knives. It was also around this time that Bill McHenry and Jason Williams approached Benchmade and introduced their idea for an axis lock, which is a very, very iconic piece of Benchmade history and allowed the knives to be well suited for left and right-handed users, and as they say, the rest is history. Once the axis lock was developed and put into production, the hits just kept on coming. In 2000, Benchmade and Warren Osborne released the Benchmade 940, which has gone on to become one of the most iconic pocket knives of all time. In 2001, Mel Perdue and Benchmade released the Griptilian series, obviously a very, very iconic pocket knife in its own right. Later on in 2006, the Infidel series was introduced and actually became one of the most sought after out the front knives even to this day. And in 2011, Benchmade stepped it up once again by releasing the super overbuilt Benchmade Adamus. We'll just leave that in there. Later down the line in 2016, the Crooked River series came out and kicked off what would become the rest of the Hunt series, which obviously has become a huge part of Benchmade's line. And then the following year, Benchmade released the Bug Out series, which is obviously totally ubiquitous at this point and a super successful part of the line. So guys, that is just a little bit of the brand history behind Benchmade. Obviously in these videos we're not going super deep, so if there's something we left out, definitely leave it down in the comments. We'll make that place a little bit more of a resource for people looking into the history of Benchmade or whatever the topic is we're talking about that week. Guys, if you have any more suggestions for what we should talk about here on Mental Strop from riversedgecutlery.com, leave it in a comment and we'll get to you guys eventually. The video that we just produced about the different blade finishes, that was a suggested comment, so we'll try to get to them as soon as possible. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you guys on the next video.